Hello. Good to see you. It's 12:30 on a Thursday, so here we are. It's Ounce of Prevention chat time. This is where we talk a little bit about how to maintain weight loss, prevent that weight gain. That's what we do here. I'm Dr. Stephanie Fine. Nice to meet you. It is, I'm the chief physician at Maintenance University. That's my new exciting thing that I'm so excited about, having people come to Maintenance University and learn how to keep their weight off. Can you imagine once you lost your weight, keeping it off forever? You wouldn't have to go on diets anymore. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. You'd be in a groove. Oh my goodness. This is what I'm wishing for everybody and why I'm so excited about Maintenance University. So we're going to be talking about things related to maintenance. And one thing that I'm going to talk about today, which is intimately involved in maintenance, although a lot of people think that it also has to do with weight loss, which of course it does, but it's related to maintenance too, and that is plateaus. I know. Plateaus are often not fun, particularly if you're in weight loss mode. If you're in weight loss mode and you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, you're chugging along and you just hit that plateau, it can be so frustrating. I'll tell you, where plateaus get tricky are in maintenance and at the end of your weight loss journey. So, when you're really close to your goal weight, the number that you want to get to, that's where we can see a lot of this frustration. I'm going to tell you the steps to analyze it and then what to do about it. So for when you're at the end, meaning you're very close to the weight your body wants to be and that you want it to be, you're often putting in the calories that your body is naturally burning. You get to an equilibrium. And in order to lose weight, you have to have a little less than that. And you can have a very little less than that, and it takes a much longer time to lose, let's say, a pound than it did at the beginning when you had a lot more weight, a lot more calories out than in. So it can feel like a plateau, and in fact, it isn't. It's happening, but it's just that the numbers are so small that in order for them to accumulate to equal a pound that you see on the scale, that it just takes a long time. It looks like a plateau. It's not. It's working. And in fact, that's one of the secrets right there, is having the faith to know that when you're doing everything that feels right to your body, that is healthy for your body, all the things that help it, sleeping, reducing stress, eating whole foods, moving your body. When you're doing all those things, there's a bit of a faith in there that it's going to show up. You're going to see the evidence of it. Now, in the meantime, while the scale may not be moving, you may notice your energy is fantastic. You may notice you're not worrying about what you're eating all the time. You may notice that you're sleeping better. And when you take the balance of all those things, we can see that not having the scale move is a little bitty thing compared to your whole life, not only around food, but your whole life in general. When you're sleeping better, who benefits? Well, you certainly do, but your family does, your colleagues do, the universe at large, which is if you're, it feels easier to be nice to the person who's crossing the street and who's, cutting you off and all those sorts of things. Everything benefits when you are humming along, when you are, working on your max energy, speed, all that stuff. Okay, so let's actually get into the specifics. So if in fact you hit a plateau, which I would define as 2 weeks in a row of no movement when you're doing everything that you've always been doing. Okay? 1 week is not a plateau for sure. And in fact, you could even say 3 or 4 weeks, but 2 is when you start to think about it, and you can do these things that I'm going to talk about. So I talked about it in the Ounce of Prevention, which you can get to your inbox every Thursday morning, and all you got to do is go to www.stephaniefinemd.com and you sign up right there. I'd love to have you. So we talk about this a little more in depth, but here we go. First things first, is it water weight? So if you are in weight loss mode and you're weighing yourself every week, which is what I recommend when you're in weight loss mode, if you just had a salty meal, then you're going to have water the next morning. There you are. Other reasons to have water retention are some medications, hormone shifts, that sort of thing, dehydration. Those sorts of things can help have you hold on to water. Then when you're on the scale and it's not moving, it's not because you're not losing fat. You may very well have. It's because there's water weight on you. So that's the first thing to look into, water weight. Second thing is, what changes have has anything changed? Now, certainly that could be food, but I mean, have you, like changed jobs? Have you, did you get a new mattress? Like, some changes, change your medication, changes that you wouldn't necessarily think affect you, but may in fact affect you enough that you're not seeing budging on your scale. So changes. And the third one is sort of analyzing how you're doing the great things that you're doing, because it's just human nature that our portions sometimes get a little bigger. I mean, it's not, you're not even intentionally doing it. You're not sabotaging yourself. It's just something that happens. So when a plateau hits, it's just a good reminder. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll get out my scale. I put it away. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get my cup measurer out just to make sure that things aren't getting, out of control or bigger than I think they are, so that I'm being accurate when I'm logging my food. So for that, it's really important. And it's just a question to check in with, and you'll know, and you can check, and it's not a big deal. And then if you find that that's the case, then you just dial it back. So to me, that's a plateau is a useful time to check in with that. Then if you've done that and you feel like, okay, everything's there and I'm still in a plateau, that's where we get into the bigger picture of a plateau. It's still an invitation, but it's a different invitation. And this invitation is to look more deeply at yourself, your relationship with food, and your relationship to the process. Okay, now it sounds heavy. Here's the first one, the integrity piece. How honest are you being with yourself? The answer may be completely and totally honest, or it could be, well, I have been, I'm not walking as quickly as I used to. It's getting hotter, and this time is, and so I'm not doing it as much. That's the kind of piece I mean with integrity. Like, examine what's going on. Not that you're evil or you're doing it on purpose, but just it's the time to check in to say, let's look at what I'm saying I'm doing and what I'm actually doing, and just make sure that they line up. Because of course, ultimately, if we're not honest with ourselves, it's only ourselves that we're hurting. No one else is affected by that. So it's a great time to check into that. The second thing is trust. So what is it that you believe in terms of food, behavior, and weight? That's a good question right there. What is it that you believe in? Because I really absolutely firmly believe in the physics, the physicality of calories in, calories out, that sort of thing. If you know as well as you can how many calories are going in, how many calories are going out, and you're doing that, then the trust has to kick in that it will show up. That can be tricky when we haven't trusted our body in the past, when it's wanted more than it needed, when it's asked for things that we didn't really want or need, and then we start to get angry with it and have a distrustful relationship. But if you've seen yourself over time doing the behaviors that you're doing that are helping you lose weight, then you can start to really lean into the trust that you will see results. That's number 2. The last one is a little leap more than that, and that's faith. So the faith comes in when let's say you've checked the water weight and the changes and your portion sizes. You've tweaked that. You've examined your integrity, you're okay there, your trust, you've worked on that. And then there's the faith. So the faith piece is, can I continue to behave in a way that's helpful to my body even if I don't lose weight? Can you? It's such an important question. This is where the faith piece comes in. Then you start to examine. I remember this just popped into my head, but I remember when I was dating people, if I didn't want to continue dating this person, but he was such a nice guy and I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So what I would say in my head is, okay, so are you going to marry him because you don't want to hurt his feelings? I mean, of course not. That's ridiculous. If you take it way down the road, it becomes very obvious what's the right answer. So that always helped me. That's the same with this. Are you going to eat the chocolate cake now because you're mad at the scale for not moving? I hope the answer is no, because because I don't like shoulds, but what we want is that you don't eat the chocolate cake because you feel crappy afterwards, because you don't like how it ends up feeling in your body, the work that you have to do to take off, the foods that you don't want to eat now, the healthy foods you don't want to eat because you just ate the cake. It causes chaos. So that's the reason not to eat the chocolate cake, not because you're being mean to yourself or you must see results. It's a huge shift. I know you can feel that. It's a big change. So then you don't say to yourself, just like I'm not going to marry him, I'm now going to eat tons of crap. I mean, that's just not, that won't make sense for all the work that you've been doing. So the answer is, yeah, I'm going to keep doing the things that make my body feel good. And that includes sleeping well and eating whole foods and moving my body and keeping the stress levels in check. So that's what I think of Plateaus. I actually love Plateaus for this reason. I mean, I personally don't love Plateaus, but when I'm working with clients, I find it to be a very interesting place to be. Although I don't wish them on my clients or anyone, but if they come up, know that they are there for you, and these questions get to be asked. So I love you. I think you're fabulous. Let me know what you think of Plateaus, and I will see you next week at 12:30. Bye.